Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What an exciting first round we had in Wales. It was just like the real thing, as we saw tenths of seconds swapped between the best drivers and co-drivers in the country. This is the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational Series. And talking of the best, I am joined by the mighty, the wonderful Matt Cotton. Good evening, sir.
Oh, what an intro. Way too kind, Ben. But I have to say, I am delighted to be joining you for round two again. We've got two stages tonight. Wales was absolutely immense. I loved every single second, and I was just counting down the days to be able to do this again. It's going to be an exciting evening of entertainment.
It's just like the real thing for Matt and I, as we see these guys go through the stages, waiting furiously for the times. Who's coming out on top? Talking of coming out on top, we're seeing shots of James Morgan, the winner of the opening round. Now, these guys are the pros, and they've got some amazing gear. And thanks to our new partners, PC Specialist and AMD, you too can have the very best of the best. If you use the code EBRC at pcspecialist.co.uk, you can have some great discounts off some amazing gear. So, Matt, bit of a change for round two. Talk us through how it's all going to work.
Yeah, so in a change from the opening round, we saw the top 5 from Wales automatically qualify for their place here in Spain. And for the remaining competitors, there was a shootout process, and the best of those crews will be joining us tonight for 2 stages, 6.5 kilometres and a 6.81 kilometre stage in Spain. It's going to be tough, it's going to be tricky, it's going to be full of action, thrills and spills. I can't wait to get going.
Absolutely, and of course, as you said a couple of nights ago, we did have our shootout to get our top 11 drivers. We have got the very best co-drivers, the very best drivers who are at the front of the field in Britain's Premier Rallying Series, as we can see here. EAMON CREEDON will lead us the way. He was the slowest in the qualifying stage a couple of nights ago, and it will of course build up to James Morgan, who won the opening round. Matt, are you ready for this?
I don't think I could ever be ready for this, but I am looking forward to it like you wouldn't believe. It's going to be mega.
And here we have our first car on the line. Irishman EAMON CREEDON will get round 2 underway. Matt, stage is live.
I have been waiting for this for a couple of weeks now. I am so excited. It's great to see EAMON actually using that 205 T16 as well. It's a personal favourite of mine. It sounds great in real life. It sounded great in Wales, and it will sound even better bouncing off the Spanish hillside, or at least the exhaust note will. I hope EAMON doesn't, to be fair.
I really hope he doesn't. Of course, the sticky Spanish tarmac, we've moved away from the rough and tough gravel from Wales, and this is our little nod to Clacton. Of course, glorious sunshine here. It was glorious sunshine back in April when the planned Clacton Rally would have run, so this is our little hat tip to them. So, Spain, a different challenge, Matt, completely to Wales. Talk us through this opening sector.
Yeah, I think Spain is a bit Marmite from what I've been hearing, between the boys. Some of them like it, some of them really, really don't. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. It's a tricky start to it. You've got to be neat and tidy. EAMON aptly actually not that neat and tidy, bouncing it off the rock face there on the inside and the outside. You can't afford to do that in the early sectors. Punctures will occur if you carry on doing that. But there's a really nice bit towards the end of this stage that is absolutely flat out. You'll hear these guys absolutely on the limiter for quite a way as they cross the finish line.
As Matt said there, we've got walls on the left, we've got curbs on the right, we've got Armco, we've got rot hidden in the undergrowth. You don't want to be too greedy of those cuts or those slides out to the back of the rock face. You've got to be absolutely neat and tidy as you thread the eye of the needle. As Peter Jackson 1 minute later heads into the stage, hunting down EAMON CREEDON in the splits.
Yeah, and absolutely, you mentioned the splits, that's a good point. EAMON first on the road will not have the advantages of splits to follow this time around. That will fall to Peter. Peter's going to be able to see if he's up or down with the green or the red sectors going through this stage, whereas EAMON is just going to have to do his own thing and drive his own stage. And as if by magic there, we have our first split up, and Peter is just a touch slower than EAMON through the first one.
You can already see a bit of loose rubber as we see Peter Jackson hustle the Polo R5 through the stage. Richard Crozier, a man, Matt, who really impressed me in Wales. Ultra smooth, but yet ultra committed. Richard, I think, is a dark horse once again.
Yeah, 5th overall in Wales. He surprised me, that's for sure. I think, to be honest, most of the co-drivers did. Obviously, our Wales winner, James Morgan, you know, a co-driver for RHYS YATES in the World Rally Championship and British Rally Championship, did very, very well. But Richard also did well, and we know how seriously Richard takes it. The gloves come off at the end of the stage interviews, the hat goes on. He's really up for this.
Oh, talking him up for it, EAMON CREEDON, our first driver through the end.
Oh, bouncing it was.
Pressure of being first on the road got to me a small bit, I think. Went slightly wide on a 4 left, spun the car and lasted at least 10 seconds. I said 2:59 inside there, so...
I think you can be fairly happy with that, breaking the 3-minute barrier. 2:59.8 is the time to beat, as we see a little spin there from EAMON. We didn't catch it on our camera, but Peter Jackson making light work of this final sector, already circa 5 seconds up now.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be down to that spin that was just out of shot of our cameras for EAMON. Peter is you know, he's not going to know about that spin for EAMON either, so he's going to think he's been doing really, really well.
So hopefully another man who will hopefully be doing really, really well, as Peter Jackson comes flying through.
80 to stop.
Not a bad start to the rally. Lost a bit of time in the middle of in the fast bits of the stage. See if we can make that up in SS2.
Good run there from Peter as we go on board with Rupert Flynn, our reigning Cadet Cup champion. He had a torrid first round. He finished 21st overall. Dramas aplenty, but hopefully a little bit better here on the... Oh, just clipping that rock face. He's our man on a mission here, man.
Yeah, well, the first sight that we had of him coming into that hairpin right was bouncing off the inside and on the outside. So he's obviously pushing on fairly hard. But as you said earlier, I think the way to win Spain is certainly going to be neat and tidy. He's going to want to keep it in the middle of the road as much as possible.
As we hear on the limiter, bouncing there, floating over the curbs. Richard Crozier's got green, green, green. Let's have a look.
It's going to be a good time.
He goes quickest.
Not too sure where that's going to leave us. It's quite difficult with the reverse seating to know what's going to be enough. I don't think that is, but no major mistakes. Cars in one piece, so...
That's the most important thing. Richard Carr is in one piece. Very respectable time. We're down to 2:50 as Dale Furness. Oh, nice glide there in the Polo.
Yeah, Dale, a very accomplished driver himself. We mentioned that last time in Wales. He owns a VW Golf of his own. He does very well in his own right, so can't be discounted here in Spain either tonight.
Another man I don't think we can be discounting either. Change of machinery as James Williams channels his inner John Armstrong as he switches to a Ford Fiesta R5 as Rupert Flynn flies through the final few curves. Safely does it, Rupert. We want to see it. Oh, he gathered that up.
You've got to be so neat through that last sector. Can't afford to be doing that too often.
Oh, big impact, Matt, right on the end there.
Whoa.
Into the gantry. Hopefully no damage.
Crashed off the finish line, so I think I've got a puncture now, which is great for me because I don't have a spare.
Oh, didn't check to Rupert at the end, no spare, and he thinks, Matt, he's got a puncture, but we don't know until he lines up for Special Stage 2.
No, what a nightmare for Rupert. He got that time, which is the important thing, but of course that damage still counts no matter where you get it when you cross the flying finish, as in real life. He's not, that's really unfortunate as well. These guys get the opportunity to take 1 or 2 spares or none. And Rupert's obviously elected to save some weight and not take any. We'll see at the start of SS2 in a little while if that gamble has paid off or not.
Oh, floating through the fast S's. Dale Furness.
Yeah, so we're through SS1. Not much to say in there really, it was pretty poor.
just way too tense again. Need to shape up.
He needs to just ease himself in, needs to relax a little bit more, let the driving come. Don't overdrive it, which you can do here. You can cook your tyres, you can run too wide, clip the rock faces. James Williams, let's have got our first look at oh, greens. Got green here, Matt.
That's a good time.
Promising.
Almost 3.5 seconds up then on Rupert through this sector. It's a solid time.
I wonder, James Williams, he was a little dejected, I think, after the first round. He did finish in that top 10, but he was, I think, wanting more. But I think he is hungry for success. Oh, hitting the rev limiter.
It's hard.
Oh, big cut there. He is confident. He is on a mission. He goes quickest.
It's a big gap.
Pretty solid otherwise. I just wanted to get through it because it's quite tricky at the start there, but no, happy with that. Looking forward to the next one.
Just solid, modest as ever. James Williams is our rally leader. Now the 2:46 dead is the time to beat. And it's just getting quicker and quicker, man.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to say. It's with this reverse seeding, it's very difficult to know where our front runners are going to be pitched time-wise. But I have to say, 4.3 seconds ahead of Rupert Flynn. And when you put Rupert and Richard's time together, I think that's a really solid time for James Williams.
Very, very solid. Rupert will be happy as well to beat his co-driver. There's always that inter-co-driver-driver war. As great helicopter angles and drone shots as Eddie Lewis. Selfie sticks, everyone's cheering. Oh, a few puffs of flame. Final few corners for Eddie. I was impressed by Eddie as well. What can he do on the tarmac, Matt?
Top 5 for Eddie. He was 4th, in fact, in Wales.
So that's the first stage of Spain done. Tricky opener, but hopefully we can claw back some time on the next ones. I think they'll suit me a little bit better.
Here we go. Matt Edwards, our reigning BRC champion in real life, giving the esports a good go. Of course, he was... Oh, they were just talking about there, nicking the rock face.
Yeah, you can't be doing that too often.
Oh, you can certainly not. And RHYS Yates, our, we can call him a reigning world esports champion. He won the WRC shootout on the Portuguese gravel. He now moves to the Spanish tarmac. Let's see how his style gets on. I think he hasn't had as much time as the other guys to really sort of dial it in, but it's great. There we go. The spectators cheering him on. RHYS flying through the final sector.
Yeah, there's no doubt in RHYS's skill in esports. Well, he's pretty good as well. He does a lot of gaming live, and you can practice quite a bit.
Not the best, but yeah, felt really sketchy, so I'm just happy to get through there. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
Sketchy and a grin. That's what we like. That's what RHYS Yates is all about. Giving us great moments, but enjoying it at the same time. Talking of great moments, Josh McEllean, our reigning junior champion, is stepping up to the R5 category in real life, but also in the esports competition. And James Morgan is into the stage as well. Matt, we have all our guys into the stage. Can we see that time tumble from James Williams?
I think this is James Morgan's stage to have. I think he will have the splits. He'll have the advantage of knowing how hard he needs to go. Matt Edwards, all these guys behind James are going to see those splits coming up quite nicely, so they're going to know how hard they need to push. Sometimes it has the opposite effect. We know that, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to nail it first.
Managed to get through with no mistakes, which is a bit of a surprise considering how testing went, but car felt okay there, and I'll just see how we get on in the next one.
A little bit dejected there from Matt Edwards. I think he was hoping for a little bit more, but safely through that first stage, get some miles, get some kilometres under the belt. That's what it is all about. Josh McEllean looked... Oh, gather it up, Josh. He just kept it. He has lost a bit of time there. The tarmac ace brought up on the Irish tarmac. He should be quick here as well.
Yeah, he won't. That's not going to do himself any favours as well. I mentioned earlier that punctures could happen when you run wide. There's rocks hidden in that undergrowth. I hope he hasn't suffered a puncture just going wide, but he seemed to pull himself out of that without losing too much time at all. It's a very interesting looking stage leaderboard as we have it at the minute. Williams, Flynn and Edwards. Let's see what Josh has done. Oh, he's lost over 3 seconds in there.
We're in the grass more than the road, but we get through it, and yeah, we're one piece.
That's what it's all about. One piece. Remember, this is the first of 4 stages. We've got 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow night as, hustling it. James Morgan, a man on a mission. He wants, of course, the second BRC win.
Opens 30.
Going to be hungry for this one. But there's a red.
He's read our first indication of where Morgan will sit. He's got
6 right to the crest. 100. 6 left.
It's flat out now for these final few corners. I can't see Morgan claiming much time back here. Oh, he's not one for trying.
He's going to have to be brave.
Here we go.
He's going to have to be brave.
80 to stop.
No. 3 seconds.
Red at every split, so I think I need to up my game for the rest of the rally if I want to jump, so we'll see.
Yeah, there we go. Of course, he could properly take all that information in. He could have a look at the splits and the times. But there we have it. James Williams leads the second round from James Morgan. Yeah, a really, really good stage. Some real close competition. And of course, don't go anywhere. We do have another stage coming up for you this evening. Let's see if James Williams can extend that lead. But if you're enjoying this esports action, you can take part too. You could become a British Rally champion yourself. So if you're enjoying this, the EBRC runs alongside the Invitational series, and it allows you guys at home to take to the very same stages. You'll be using the Ford Fiesta R2, and the winner, the champion from those 4 rounds, you will get to test a real-life Ford Fiesta R2T, courtesy of EDSL Sports. If you haven't done so already, there's plenty of time. You've got until Monday next week. Register now at BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk. Matt and I have. We're pretty damn useless though, Matt, but we're enjoying it, and you guys can have a go too.
Yeah, we're not going to trouble anybody, that's for sure, are we?
Definitely not. Definitely not. As our first round, I thought it was heroics, Matt. But yeah, we've got a lot of work to do for this round. But anyway, let's have a look. Let's go and have a look into special stage 2. And already we're straight into special stage 2, Matt. EAMON CREEDON leads us away once more.
Yeah, it's great to see this 208 T16 in Spain. I loved looking at it in Wales. It sounded fantastic bouncing off the woods on the Welsh countryside, and it's going to sound great bouncing off the hillside here in Spain. And it's fair play for EAMON for choosing this one. It's the only one we've got in the event.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it's great to have loads of different marks represented, and already looking very comfortable at the wheel. He's obviously first on the road. He's got no tyre marks. He's got no indications of where other people have been, but he's floating that 208 round perfectly. And of course, the temperature has dropped here this evening. The sun is setting in Spain, which will make tyre choice a little bit more tricky, won't it?
Yeah, the one thing I noticed actually through SS1 is EAMON is nice and smooth. He doesn't take too many risks as well, and that will probably pay dividends actually. He might not be there or thereabouts for the top times, but he's just going to keep chipping away, and hopefully that will net him a good result. Certainly after tonight's 2 stages. Obviously we've got the monster one tomorrow night as well, over 10 kilometres to round off the rally as well. So there'll be a sting in the tail tomorrow night, no doubt.
Absolutely. We've got 11 of the best in the BRC for the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational. As we look at Peter Jackson, these guys are running at 1 minute intervals, so it's spread out a little bit better than last week. Sorry, last round even. But yeah, Peter Jackson, I think he had a disappointing round in Wales, but he's again looking very smooth, picking his lines and using that polo to its best advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. We said it in SS1. Nobody is going to be able to play. I was just going to say nobody's able to play with the rock faces or the barriers on the outside. Just as he kisses one to use that to bring him in line again. But that is definitely how punctures happen. So he's going to have to keep it neat and tidy throughout tonight's stages and tomorrow, as well as Richard Crozier enters the stage as well.
I'm really impressed with Richard. He's been ultra smooth, but yet ultra competitive as well. Really good result in Wales. He seems to be going very well. Ideally suited to the tarmac picking his lines, very circuit racing. It's a nice big cut there, clip the white line. He is flowing nicely through the second stage.
6th fastest after SS1, 4.6 seconds down on our leader, which is James Williams. And nice to have that new name at the top of leaderboard after SS1 in Spain.
Yeah, really competitive. We don't know. It's a complete lottery. Obviously, James is leading, but we've got a hungry pack wanting to chase him down. And as we said before on stage 1, these are the guys that were slower in the qualifying stage a couple of nights ago. But it's going to get quicker and quicker as we see a green split there from Peter Jackson. Oh, look at the state of that. Matt, that's Rupert. That's Rupert, obviously, from the first stage, as you quite rightly pointed out.
Yeah, we saw him crash towards the end of SS1. And that's his puncture.
Oh, Matt, it's blown! Oh, he's blown it. Oh, he's on the rim already. Oh, Matt, he's got a whole stage to limp that Fiesta through.
He said he thought he had a puncture as he crossed the finish line of SS1. He took out the Finnish gantry as he got there, and just that puncture is just not what he needed at the start of this stage. 6.8 kilometres to go. He's just going to hemorrhage time all through at this stage.
And breathers. EAMON CREEDON threads it round the final corner through the timing beam.
As you can see, the Spanish heat is kind of getting to me a small bit. Good clean run through that. Last bits and pieces of time here and there, but
yeah, good solid run there from EAMON. I think he needs to work on his fitness though, Matt. He's struggling. He's struggling. It just shows how much effort these guys are putting in though, because they really are taking it seriously and really hustling those simulator setups to get the best out of these R5 guys.
It's hot in Spain, Ben. You'd be a bit perspiration if you were in Spain doing this.
Not me, Matt. I'm a finely tuned athlete.
Yes, of course. Oh, and that's look, we can see there already the splits are up for Rupert Friend, 15 seconds down. I reckon that's probably only the second split of this second stage as well. So already we can see how much time he's losing. The straight lines are not going to be too much of an issue for him if he can just keep it on the road. But obviously, as soon as he comes to these corners, it's going to be really tricky for him.
Corners, Peter Jackson makes it safely through the stage.
Lost a bit of time in the last sector, but overall, not too bad.
Slipping just behind EAMON CREEDON there. But yeah, we mentioned briefly, obviously, Rupert struggling with a puncture, but of course it's very tight and technical at the start and then fast and flowing at the end. As we look at our rally leader, can this boy take the overnight lead, Matt?
I'd like to think so. It's great to have a new name at the top of the leaderboard. He came into Wales very fresh, wasn't much of a gamer, he'd admit that himself, but he's picked it up really quickly.
Oh, sorry, Matt. Oh, Dale Furness is off. Bang. Oh, he bangs it down the first. He finds the tarmac again. Not too much time lost there, but keep it on the black stuff, Dale.
It's not what he wanted in SS2, that's for sure. You've got to keep it neat and tidy. That was a scrappy stage for him.
Oh,
here he goes.
Oh, no. Oh, Rupert's on the roof.
Rupert.
Oh, no. Keep it neat. Keep it neat. We just saw Richard Crozier there go through. He is leading. He's leading the rally at the minute, but we've got some really quick guys to come as James Williams. Oh, just listen to this.
Yeah, there's some greens coming up on the screen already for James Williams. That's no surprise at all. A super time, 3 seconds quicker than anybody else in SS1. He's definitely going to be the man to beat in SS2 as well. Similar length stage, so yeah.
An understeer there from Eddie Lewis. Well, it's wonder the tyres aren't quite up to temperature yet, or whether they've gone off because he used them a little bit too hard on that first stage.
Yeah, sure. Not a great time through Eddie through SS1. 10th quickest.
10th quickest. Not bad. He'll be hoping for a little bit more this time as James Williams makes it into the second half of the stage. Looking good. Looking rather well, and of course we're building up to the fastest guys at the very end. It's going to be a complete excitement as we see another split come through. Oh, he's motoring, nearly 2 seconds up.
That's a good time for James. Interesting to see what time he nets through this one, if he can maintain that lead of 3 seconds. Eddie Lewis, our 10th place man.
Oh, he's a bit wild there. Hopefully looks alright on our camera there. Doesn't look like he's picked up anything. Oh, big moment from Dale. Dale Furness. He had that off before. He's on a mission to try and claw that time back.
Oh, he does. He's not.
Oh, avoiding the rock. Oh, he's a lucky, lucky boy not to hit that rock on the outside.
Gathered that up very, very well. Fair play to Dale for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Rhys Yates. Quickly, Rhys, bang it down on the handbrake. Spin it round. There he goes. Oh, Rhys having a bit of a nightmare as well. It's all happening here.
We went off the road in there. Had to turn around, climb the bank to get back on. Very disappointing.
Very dejected, Dale. Yeah, very dejected. Understandable.
Yeah, absolutely gutted. But what drama we've had in this PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational. We've certainly had some... Oh, talking drama! The rally leader! Matt! James! Oh, don't recover it. Find a way out. Oh, James! Our rally leader! Matt, that could be the lead gone for young James Williams.
Commentator's curse there. We were bigging him up all throughout that beginning part of the stage, and there he goes. He's popped it into the scenery. I don't think he lost a massive amount of time, but look, he only had 3 seconds in hand over James Morgan. I think he's going to have lost way more than that. We'll see in a sec.
We'll see this at final corner. Let's see how much time James has lost.
To stop.
Solid run in stage 2 until probably third to last corner, and then went wide and went off into the trees. So.
Oh, I mean, he has a little smile there, but you know what? Deep down, he is going to be kicking himself. He drops 5.5 seconds to Richard Crozier.
Yeah.
Boy, that is the rally lead gone, because Richard does inherit it for time. Ooh, as Matt Edwards gives a bit of a slide. Bit of a send from Matt. Look, Matt's not quite got it hooked up here.
No, I was speaking to Matt earlier last week, and he said that Spain is not his favourite event on the EBRC calendar, that's for sure. So,
Eddie Lewis! Eddie Lewis in the wars. He spins it round. No puncture again. Oh, this final sector, Matt, is really catching our guys and girls out, aren't they?
It's a tricky second test. I think that the first one was a little bit easier. You know, if you got the lines right in SS1, I think you would have got a really good time. But this one, you cannot afford to stray.
So second stage of the rally was going really well. Saw some green splits in that one, but unfortunately we hit a rock on the inside of the corner near the end and spun us around, so dropped a bit of time.
Still going. That's the most important thing. It's a long event. We've got 2 stages tonight and 2 stages tomorrow night. So yeah, it's all to play for, Eddie. So get yourself into the second day and see where we can come. So Josh McElwain, we're seeing just slightly down here on the red. I wonder if that's James Williams' split. But Josh looking very consistent as well as our round 1 winner. James Morgan enters into the stage. So we have all of our guys through, Matt. So here we go, the lottery with James going off.
Yeah, I think
who's going to come out on top.
I think, we haven't talked much about Josh. I think he's Mr. Consistent. If you look at his times throughout Wales and if you look at his time through SS1, he's just got it pitching there. He's not taking the risks. He knows where he needs to manage his pace, and he's doing it beautifully. Red
brake disc there on James Morgan's Mitsubishi Mirage as his driver in real life, Rhys Yates, comes through.
Had a spin. Got away with it. I was like in 4th gear, just spam round. I thought, oh god, this is terminal coming.
You know what, Rhys again, man with a massive smile on his face. He is utterly brilliant. He's won the WRC esports competition, so he's been on the Portuguese gravel. So we can give him a bit of an excuse. He hasn't had as much time as the rest of the guys to practice. But James Morgan looking nicely smooth up on the greens as Matt Edwards comes through the final sector. What Matt can do. Can he bang in a top 3?
Yeah, interesting to look at that stage leaderboard. Look, EAMON CREEDON 4th quickest. That's a good time from Aiden. Yeah.
Here comes Matt.
Struggled with the car moving around a little bit towards the end, especially with probably the tyres going off, because difficult to simulate that in testing with a softer compound. So.
Yeah, I think he's going to be disappointed with that. Yeah, I think he leads the rally currently from Richard Crozier by 0.6, but I think he was wanting a little bit more. But here, as we said, it's a long way to go as James Morgan punches in another green split. This is looking rather good for James Morgan.
Yeah, he didn't have...
Oh, beautiful.
He didn't have the benefit of those green splits in SS1. He was saying they were all red to him, so he's got the knuckle down now. He's not going to know what happened to James Williams up ahead of him, so he's going to think that he's had a really good run. But... it's going to be his to lose now. And Josh!
Beautiful slide there from Josh. tarmac specialist, of course, from Ireland, brought up on the black stuff. He's looking brilliant.
Into 3 right.
Can he do now? He's had a few greens. Can he go into the rally lead?
To stop.
Third overall after SS1.
And he does.
Hard to get settled in, but hopefully we can get settled in the next 2 and punch in some good times.
Yeah, really good time there. So Josh McEllean takes the rally lead currently, 1.2 seconds, but we do have the mighty James Morgan flying through. He's had greens everywhere. He's into the final sector, Matt. Can the boy do it?
Super smooth in that Mitsubishi. He just knows where to place the front wheels. You know, there are some ditches in here which you can hook, which pull you in nicely. You can just take that extra higher gear to get you around these corners. I am well impressed by how James is driving this one, just like I was in Wales.
Absolutely. Fortune favours the brave, and he has been brave. Picking his lines, he's carrying that speed. You don't hear the thing bouncing. He's got his gearing all sorted as he comes in now. Onto the brakes, into the final corner. Where will he go on the leaderboards?
To stop.
It's a good time.
There he goes, our overnight leader by 2.8 seconds. The mighty James Morgan.
That's a good time from James. We said it was his there.
Stage 2's done. Hoping to go faster in there, to be honest. That's my favourite stage of this rally, so not sure I've done enough to hold off James Williams for the rest of the rally. We'll see how it goes.
So there we go. Drama aplenty, Matt, in the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational. And it's only day 1.
I mean, look, you know, we were so pleased when we saw James Williams' name at the top of the leaderboard after SS1. It was a stonking time for him to be 3 seconds quicker than James Morgan. And then, look, it just turned itself on its head in SS2 so quickly. Just a very small mistake from James, and that just put him in the undergrowth, and that's just sent him tumbling down the leaderboard, sadly.
You've got to only be impressed by James Morgan, and obviously James Williams had a cracking drive, but has anyone else stood out for you this evening?
I think Josh McEllean, I said earlier, you know, he is Mr. Consistent. He was consistent in Wales. There was no big moments for him. Although we saw him have a slide in SS2 there was no big moments for him over those first 2 stages as well, despite the surface change. I think he's going to be one to watch throughout the series, and he's just going to be chipping away at James Morgan to try and get... He's going to want a rally win.
He's definitely going to want it, but of course he's not too far away, and we do have another 2 stages tomorrow night, so do join Seb Scott and John Armstrong tomorrow night, the same time, the same place, to see the conclusion of the second round of the PC Specialist BRC Esports Invitational Series. Now, of course, this is running, but also running at the same time is the EBRC, and you guys at home can take to the very same stages as the professionals. I say professionals, some are doing it really well, some not so well. But using the R2 Fiesta, you will take to the same stages, and the winner of the 4-round series at the very end will win a test in a real-life Ford Fiesta R2T, courtesy of EDSL Sport. A fantastic prize. If you head to BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk, you'll be able to register and find out all the details. Matt, we gave it a go. We won't be troubling the top of the timesheets, will we?
No, I don't think there's any danger of us winning that prize. But I have to say, for anybody out there that enjoys their gaming, enjoys virtual sims and Dirt Rally 2.0, this is just a stonking prize. I'd love to get my hands on this. And it's a great way for them to show their talents from the gaming seat, if you like, into a real-life Fiesta R2T. It's fantastic.
And of course, if you love your gaming, our partners PC Specialist have a great discount code currently. So if you use EBRC at pcspecialist.co.uk, you'll find all sorts of great gear there, some great discounts to get yourself gaming, to give yourself that extra bit of an performance advantage. So there we go, Matt. The opening 2 stages is now complete. Join Seb Scott and John Armstrong tomorrow night for the conclusion of this event. On behalf of Matt and I, it's goodbye.